Then we finally got to the rental house, and all of us kind of stood there and stared at it and thought, is a barrel pick worth dying for? Welcome to another Whiskey and Whitetails video. Today we are going to talk about a trip to Kentucky and all the things that went into it, including 3 barrel picks. So we'll just dive right into it. So this trip was done with Gibby's Bottle Shop out of Charleston, South Carolina. A lot of people know them for their single barrel picks. Pretty good stuff. Kayla has an amazing palate. So we brought with him 3 friends, Pat. Then we had Mark. Last but not least, Brian. We got a first class, which I didn't know Breeze had first class, but we got a first class flight for, I think it was $180 a person.
It's $180.
It is our most modestly.
It's pretty nice. They weren't, we didn't have like TVs, it wasn't like Delta first class, but plenty of leg room and the seats would recline. It was pretty nice. So the flight was easy. We got to Louisville pretty early in the morning.
He said it's Louisville. I said it ain't Louisville. I said it's Louisville.
And got in the rental car, and first things first, we had to hit up breakfast. The place we settled on was called Wild Eggs, and it was delicious. We had, I think we had a bourbon cocktail and a couple things to get the day started, and some delicious breakfast. And after that, it was scooter time. Turns out the guys I went with were daredevils. We were doing stairs, I mean, you name it, all kinds of fun stuff on scooters. We had a good time. We scooted around for a bit, saw the sights around downtown, and then it was time to load up and head to Limestone Branch. If you've never been there before, that's who does the Yellowstone bourbon that you've seen everywhere. A lot of good store picks come out of there.
J-Bug Photography would have done.
For this trip, we were treated like royalty. As soon as we came in, everybody was so nice. We got to meet Stephen Fontaine. If you've never met him, he's a character.
First time I saw that picture, I challenged both brothers to grow that mustache. Paul's a quitter. Shaved his off in 3 weeks. Steve's got the full duster.
Takes you a little bit to get warmed up to him, but once you get some drinks flowing, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Turns out he's a real Kentucky Colonel, which is cool. I've never met a Kentucky Colonel before. He was, so he sat us down outside on the patio after giving us a tour. The tour was awesome.
And who is bowling? Kathleen Dan Bowling is grandma.
And basically we just ran through 3 different proofs, and we had 3 barrels at each proof. So they range from 109 to, I don't know, I'll put it down here. After tasting through 9 different barrels and with basically a split decision on which one was best, we ended up landing on one at a lower proof that I think had a great palate, had a great mouthfeel, the finish was good. Some of the higher proof ones just tasted like ethanol to me. They didn't stand out in the flavor profile that I would want if I was going to do a store pick for a liquor store. Because remember, when you do picks like that, we got to make sure it's all stuff that people will like, not necessarily just the proof hounds or the age. It's got to be good tasting bourbon. So after a great time there, we hopped in the rental car and headed back to Louisville. Stopped at a liquor store on the way.
Please leave these cool cat guys alone. Please leave them alone, bro. Please leave them alone, bro. The problem ain't please leave them damn alone. Well, if you trying to get a big red soda pop, ask them can they buy your famous soda pop. That's all, but leave them alone.
Buy this dude a soda
Leave
pop.
them damn alone. You ain't going about that. You ain't going.
Grabbed the necessities. Then we finally got to the rental house, and all of us kind of stood there and stared at it and thought, is a barrel pick worth dying for? And we're home. We keep getting asked all through the weekend who picked that rental spot, and
He's like, hell no. I never go down there unless I got like 2-3 guns on.
tell me what you think. Where we're staying? We're good there?
No. No. Fuck no.
So all 4 of us equally took the blame on who picked that Airbnb. I think we all kind of just said, somebody else will check it out, do some street view of the neighborhood. Granted, you don't get the exact address, so we couldn't actually look at the address. But all said and done, it was a little scary at times, but nothing really happened, nothing extravagant except for like a Guy was tweaking out on the side of the road, right across from us. We're not really sure what was next door. We think it's probably a halfway house. It's pretty sketchy characters walking around. What are you gonna do?
So how come you don't pick people up over here?
So after we got all settled into the Airbnb, it was time to go hit the streets. We went back out to Louisville, got some scooters. And pretty much immediately after going, Caleb got stopped by a police officer for not obeying traffic laws. We didn't know that. It's our first time there. Scooters are not allowed on sidewalks and you have to obey stoplights. That makes total sense. We just didn't think about it at the time. We were just too drunk. So as we normally did on scooters, we just had a great time just going up and down, doing tricks. Jumping stairs. Shit. They got me to jump a set of stairs. So after that, we hit up, I think it's called 4th Street Live, and kind of just hung out, went to the PBR bar there. People were buying vodka shooters out of syringes or something. It was a good time.
All right, from green sign to the white building.
All right, ready?
Set. One. We'll go on 3. So 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! I'm the slowest.
So day 2 started up and we woke up hungry, obviously drove to Chick-fil-A, and it was in a newer part of town, so it was the deadest Chick-fil-A I've ever been to. I think there was 2 other people in there when we went. It was nice to be able to walk in, get your stuff and eat and head out, and we headed down to Lexington. Caleb had won a tasting at auction from the Medicinal Whiskey Charity, I think last year. And so he cashed in on that for us. So we went down there and they had some cool bottles. Good time. My friend Rocco showed up, Rocco from Camp Hero, and everything was good. We got to talk to the guy, learn a bit about Justin's and the spirits that we were tasting. I'm gonna pause real quick for a pour. Killed pretty much all of my Gibby's Bottle Shop picks, so this is fitting. This is a Justin's House of Bourbon pour. It's extra aged. I can't remember how old it was. They told me in the store, but I don't know. Barrel proof, good stuff. So after the tasting at Justin's, we went ahead and got back in the van, or drove from Lexington back to Louisville, and we went to Michter's. We had a tasting lined up at Michter's and a small tour as soon as we walked in. I've been there before, and I know that everybody gets angry that they go and they can't get the pour-your-owns. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. They say be there first thing in the morning. I've done that. This time was, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think you just got to get lucky. So we walked in there, and as soon as we walked through that door that takes you to back where the tasting is, I saw five boxes like these sitting there, and I just was like, oh man, I really hope that we get to do it. And so we did. It was amazing. Just like last time, it was so much fun. You get to, you've seen the reels, but I'll throw it up here anyway. So after that, we went back upstairs where they gave us, I think we got 2 cocktails for free with our tasting. Everybody was super nice. We met some cool people there. And then we started asking around, like, where should we go to dinner? Where should we go to dinner? And one of the places they recommended was a place called Repeal. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to Louisville and you want to eat somewhere really good, like your one meal that's going to be just blown out of the water, go to Repeal. They have a long wait list, but you can just walk in when the doors open and sit down at the bar and be seen right away. So that's what we did. Got in there, we had a few cocktails. We all ordered, I think they were 22-ounce ribeyes, and we got some sides to share. Oysters Rockefeller, you name it. It was amazing. It was 5 people, so we thought the bill was gonna be super high, but it was actually pretty reasonable. I would go again, 100%. I might go every time I go to Louisville. I might go there again just to have the steak, because I like to make my own steak. I'm pretty picky, but the steak there was amazing, and we had also been drinking all day, so that might have had something to do with it. So then it was time to get back on scooters. I just can't explain it to you. Scooters was like the whole event of the weekend was scoot. And we also didn't want to be at the Airbnb because of kind of the location.
It's right here.
What's that for?
Oh, that's for motherfuckers down there. Down in Alpha 26.
So we went to ride around downtown. So we did the same thing, ran down by the waterfront, got to see a steamboat playing a piano, what are they called? A pipe organ with steam. that was pretty cool. We got to do a lot of fun stuff, and then we were back to, you know, jumping stairs, and Caleb's like a daredevil, did all kinds of stuff. He's really good on 2 wheels, and makes me feel like I'm getting old. So we scooted around, we hit a few bars, we did some stuff, had fun. I think I got 2 of the nights mixed up on when I hurt myself, but either way, that night was fun too. And then after that, we went back to the house. And we had bought some house bottles.
That's what we got. Was it worth it?
Hell yeah. Got a glass in it.
And let me tell you about the liquor store we went to get those. I'll just show you.
I look like me and Pat. What's up? You said your mom?
So some of those signs that were in there behind them were bullet holes, and it's bulletproof glass, but you could see like where it impacted and kind of shattered, and they just put like sticky notes over it for, you know, discount on this price, whatever. Pretty interesting. But we got a couple bottles for the house, and we just went back and we had a good night. We hung out. We decided to go exploring. We went down inside the cellar, which everybody thought it was going to be pretty sketch, but it wasn't. It was a pretty big letdown.
There's weird noises down there.
Sketchy as a motherfucker.
This was dumb. That's the reason we didn't run out of hot water, because we got 2 water heaters. This is kind of fun.
You don't put a seam right here.
All right, so now we are at Sunday. Sunday, we went to Bardstown Bourbon Company. We got a cool tour in there. And then we got free lunch. Some of the guys were hungover, took some naps. It was a great time. Bardstown's such a beautiful place. We love going there. We got to go do the deep thing in the rick house to get to taste straight from the barrel, which is always cool. No matter how many times you do it, it's always fun. After Bardstown, we just kind of drove around some. Went to Heaven Hill. We did the Heaven Hill experience. They had I can't remember the name of the tour, but I think it's the Bourbon Aficionado Tour. Give you an allocated bottle. This time it was Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I don't think any of us bought it, but sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So there's an example of not getting lucky. It was just regular. I mean, don't get me wrong, great stuff. It's just that, you know, it's easier to find, and we had limited space to bring stuff back. After we left Heaven Hill, we stopped by Jim Beam to see if Chief Mercer was there, checked out their gift shop. Nothing really extravagant there, just walked around and looked at what they had available for purchase, and then headed back to Louisville. So the rest of that night, we kind of took it easy. We ordered a pizza, hung out. We actually watched Clarkson's Farm, and if you've never seen that, you should definitely check it out. Clarkson's Farm is hilarious. All right, final day there, which was Monday. So we had a barrel pick at Wild Turkey. We did not know this, but Wild Turkey's closed on Mondays. So we got there and the gate was shut. We didn't know what to do. We're just kind of standing there. You know, did you call the rep? The rep didn't answer. And then out of nowhere, this car pulls up, starts moving signs, and it was Bruce Russell. So he let us in, and he's like, yeah, sorry, he was like a minute late. We got there super early. And that experience, let me tell you, was so awesome. To be able to walk around with a real life Russell and we went to Warehouse A, and he had 6 or 9 barrels lined up, told us all kinds of ins and outs of like secrets about the family and all kinds of stuff. It was such a cool experience to learn from somebody that his whole family has been master distillers generation, and now he's next in line. And for him to tell stories about his dad and his grandpa that, you know, most people would never know, how he got into the bourbon industry. I don't really want to spoil his story. It's just something you should go and check out for yourself, see if you can find him and let him talk to you about how he ended up getting involved, because he originally didn't want anything to do with it. So it's, in one hand you could see it, in the other hand you can't. To me it was a very cool story. So we popped some barrels, and Bruce started to thieve out some whiskey for us to try. I think we tasted a Kentucky Spirit that we weren't going to get. We just got to taste it, and I think we tasted 6, maybe 7 different barrels, and we ended up picking 2. And so those would be pretty fantastic as well. One of them is something special. I mean, they're both really good, but one of them was just fantastic. I can't remember if it was the first or the second one, but it was pretty awesome anyway. So we all got to sign the barrel with Bruce and just say like, that's ours, and it goes on to bottling, and then once it's bottled, it'll be shipped down here, and we'll be able to have some, and hopefully maybe I'll get a little more than my fair share. Probably not. Caleb's very fair, but hey Caleb, let me get more than one. So the Wild Turkey thing was awesome. Wish the gift shop was open. We could go in there, and I wanted to buy another Glen, because the one I've got, I can't find it. And not that I have a shortage of Glencairns, I love wild turkey, so I like drinking out of a wild turkey blend. That might be stupid, I don't know. So since we were right next door, we went ahead and hopped over to Woodford. Since we stopped next door, we went ahead and ran over to Woodford. That was a good time. Just walked around, again, no tour. We just walked through the store to see what was going on inside, see if they had anything cool to buy. It was just standard stuff. Yeah, it's beautiful property. I saw a wild turkey out the back, which was cool. We saw a bunch of little colts from horses, you know, baby horses. Wildlife. After that, we were pretty much done. Went to the airport, car had to be back early. And we sat in the airport, had some food, had some drinks, waiting on our flight. A couple of guys, again, took naps because it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I'm so thankful for the invitation. It was awesome to meet the guys, and like I was doing, so Mark's coming to help me with my house. I got water leaks. I mean, it's just connections, you know, meeting new people and making connections. And I hope to have them all over here to have a party one day, cook out, have some food, told them they can bring their family. Yeah, it was awesome to meet them, and had a great time. And I really, again, thank you, Caleb, for inviting me. So that's the video. That's the Kentucky tour. That's some inside scoops. Hopefully you found it fun. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments.